Geometric sequence. In a geometric sequence, each consecutive term has a common ratio, such that that ratio is what we call R, and it equals your second term a sub 2 over your first term a sub 1, or it would be your third term a sub 3 over your second term a sub 2, or your fourth term a sub 4 over a sub 3, and you can kind of see how this is going to work out. It's going to go all the way to whatever a sub n term you have divided by your a sub n minus 1 term, the one right before it. And as I said, that is going to be equal to r, as long as r does not equal 0. Can never equal 0. For these first couple examples, we just want to find the common ratio. So we're going to take the second term and divide it by the first term. So 20 divided by 10, does that equal 40 divided by 20? And does that equal 80 divided by 40? Well, if you simplify all those out, you get 2 equals 2 equals 2. So yes, we have a common ratio of 2. So my r is equal to 2. This next one, we're dealing with fractions, so it's going to be a little more difficult, but it's the same idea. We take the second term, 1 over 16, and we divide it by negative 1/4. And we want to see if that equals negative 1 over 64 divided by 1 over 16. And does that equal 1 over 256 over negative 1 over 64. So if you invert and multiply all of these, flip the bottom fraction and multiply straight across, you're going to get it simplified to negative 4 over 16, which is simplified further to negative 1 over 4. So that means that r is equal to negative 1/4, and they are all the same. A general formula for a geometric sequence that's fairly basic, as long as you're careful about how you write it when you get the numbers in there. That formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 times your r to the power of n minus 1. Now make sure you don't just multiply a sub 1 times r. You cannot do that, because the a sub 1 does not have the power on it, and it's not the same base, so you can't put them together. So if we keep them separate, then we'll be fine. And also, if we're not given a sub 1, if, for example, we are given a sub 4 equals something, a sub 4 equals x, and a sub 12 equals y, just for example, then what we would want to do is we would put it in the same way as we did before, and we would just say a sub 12 equals my a sub 4 times my r to the power of, instead of n minus 1, 12 minus 4. And this is very similar to the technique we used in the arithmetic sequence. Just manipulate our numbers to use what we have to find what we need. So if we do an example here, we want to find a sub 1, which is equal to 4, and r is equal to 1/2, and we want to find a sub 15. So if we find a sub n, it might be a little easier. So a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times my r to the power of n minus 1. So that would be a sub n equals 4 times 1/2 to the power of n minus 1. And no, you cannot multiply 4 times 1/2 and say 2 to the n minus 1 power. That doesn't work. You got to keep it separate. So now I want to find a sub 15. So a sub 15 is going to be equal to 4 times my 1/2 to the power of 15 minus 1. 4 to the times 1/2 to the power of 14. Now 1/2 to the power of 14 is actually kind of an awkward number. It is 4 times 1 over 16,384. and then I just multiply that times 4, so a sub 15 is equal to 4 divided by 16,384, or 1 over 4,096. And that would be your final answer. For this last example, we are not given a sub 1, so we're going to have to manipulate what we know, which is a sub 4 and a sub 10, in order to get what we want, which is a sub 14. So the first step is to find our common ratio. So that we're going to use a sub 10 equals my a sub 4 times my r to the power of 10 minus 4. So that's going to be my a sub 10, which is 125 over 64, equals my a sub 4, which is 125, times my r, which I don't know, to the power of 6. So I'm going to just solve this. Divide by 125. And if I divide that by 125, then I get 1 over 64 equals r to the 6th power. So if I want to solve this, I need to take the 6th root. Or you also might think of it as, what to the 6th power gives me 64, whatever works for you. Or you can actually just type the 6th root into your calculator. But r equals 1/2. If you take 1/2 to the 6th power, you get 1 over 64. So there's my r. Once I have my r, then I can find my a sub 14. So step 2 would be to find a sub 14. A sub 14 is going to be, I pick either one of them, it doesn't matter which one. So if I pick my a sub 10 times my r to the power of 14 minus 10, not n minus 1 because I used 14 and 10. So that's what I'm going to do. So a sub 14 is going to equal a sub 10, which is 125 over 64, times my r, which is 1/2, to the power of 14 minus 10, which is 4. So now if I put that in to simplify, I'm going to have 125 over 64 equals 1/2 to the 4th power is actually 1 over 16. And then if I simplify this, I would just that should be a multiplication, not an equals. Just multiply straight across, and I would get 125 over 64 times 16, which is 1024. So that is my a sub 14. And that's your final answer. So that's going to wrap up your notes over geometric sequence. Go through the practice problems, make sure that you can manipulate the numbers however you need to, and then prepare for your quiz.